Well, so how are you managing? This pandemic carries on, rather, doesn't it? We continue to hunker down, and most of us have had more than enough of it. Unless you're a hermit or one who loves social isolation or have had the vaccine, we are mostly in a pandemic overload. COVID excess, a coronavirus congestion. We've had enough. It's been about a year of social distancing, of masks, of hand washing, and less interaction with loved ones and friends. Not to mention living with the fear of contracting the illness or someone we care about doing the same. It's been a difficult time for all of us, filled with boredom, with worry, and loneliness. And to top it all off, our churches cannot offer in-person worship. The social distancing needed, sadly, includes restricting our ability to physically come together to worship the one who gives us life and who feeds our souls. We can still worship God with us and God amongst us, but we just can't gather to do so. And so we are mostly doing this in front of cameras, in front of our computers as we watch, or our telephones, or on our televisions, even our phones. Many churches, and I know that All Saints is in this camp, but many churches have been surprised by the number of people watching their online worship. Whether it be Zoom or recorded earlier or live streamed, the number of people tuning in has been a very pleasant surprise. Many more than the usual gathered community. This has me intrigued. Now, I've not made a formal study of this, but I have spoken to a number of people who've been watching online services who would rarely come to an in-person worship service. The reason that they give to me for watching is that they are curious about what we do, curious about our traditions, curious about our faith, curious about God, curious about what we believe, curious about how they might feed their own soul. Intriguing. There was a phrase in the gospel passage for today that really caught my attention. Maybe you didn't notice it, for it had no flashing lights surrounding it or much emphasis to draw your attention. It was something found in the mundane and ordinariness of the passage. Something that you could consider from several different angles. The phrase was, "Everyone is searching for you." Jesus has left the home early in the morning to seek a place of solitude and silence to offer prayer and meditation. His disciples did not know where to find him, and a search party was formed. That's the background. But I just want to dwell on the words that drew my focus. Everyone is searching for you. For they are words that might mean much to us people of faith. Everyone is searching for you. For if you believe, as I do, that all human beings are born with a feeling that within us we need to draw closer, we need to draw nearer to God. We have it within us, this desire to search for God, to know God more intimately, to know the one who first breathed life into us, to know our purpose, our meaning, and depth of our soul. Everyone is searching for you. Martin Buber writes this. See if it rings a bell or strikes a chord with you. He wrote, "There is something that can be found in one place. It's a great treasure, which may be called the fulfillment of existence. The place where this treasure can be found is the place on which one stands." He said most of us achieve only at rare moments a clear realization of the fact that we have never tasted the fulfillment of existence, that our lives do not participate in true, fulfilled existence, that, as it were, it passes true existence by. We nevertheless feel the deficiency at every moment, he says, and in some measure strive to find somewhere what we are seeking. Somewhere in some province of the world or of the mind, except where we stand, where we have been set. He says, but it is there and nowhere else that the treasure can be found. The environment which I feel to be the natural one, he says, the situation which has been assigned to me as my fate, the things that happen to me day after day, the things that claim me day after day, these contain my essential task and such fulfillment of existence as is open to me. He said, it is said of a certain Talmudic master that the paths of heaven were as bright to him as the streets of a person's native town. Buber says it is a greater thing if the streets of a person's native town are as bright to him or her as the paths of heaven. For it is here where we stand that we should try to make shine the light of the hidden divine life. We search, we seek, we desire to know God with us and amongst us. We saw that in Jesus Christ. But we seek that connection within our own soul and spirit as well. Everyone is searching for you, the disciples said. Little did they know that those words would echo in the universe and be heard even by us 2,000 years later. In the passage from the prophet known as Isaiah, we also heard words that point to this great human ache within us. The desire to be known by God and to know God near. We heard these words, have you not known? Have you not heard? Has it not been told you from the beginning? Have you not understood from the foundations of the earth? It is God who sits above the circle of the earth, and its inhabitants are like grasshoppers, who stretches out the heavens like a curtain and spreads them like a tent to live in, who brings princes to naught and makes the rulers of the earth as nothing. You see, there is a discovery that can take place in a time like this pandemic time. There's a discovery that can happen despite being shut in our homes and kept away from those we love. There is a discovery that takes place as we start to look a little more deeply and critically at our lives and at our purpose. A discovery that we want a greater depth and meaning. We want to live what it is that we claim as most important in the center of our very selves. We want to claim connection to the one who breathed life into us from the beginning and has throughout. We want to understand how we are connected to the life and the way and the truth that Jesus brought and revealed and reminded. We want to claim that our baptism invites us into closer relationship with God and with all people. We want to know that we are loved and known and cherished. We want to see that if we are beloved of God, then the same is true for those around us, searching for the same connection to holiness and to wonder. What are you searching for? Amen.